After the Electoral College made it official on Monday, some Republicans are now finally admitting that Joe Biden will be the next president, and many in the GOP and right-wing media are still insisting there is a way for Trump to subvert the will of the voters and remain in office. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. Been a tough week for Donald Trump. The Electoral College made Joe Biden's win official. Republican leaders began to finally admit that Biden will be the next president, albeit way too late. A judge ruled that Trump's business would turn over documents sought as part of an investigation by the New York Attorney General's office. And on top of all that, Trump's neighbors in Florida went public with a small request. Please do not move here.
Trump's neighbors in Florida are bracing for the possibility he just might spend his post-White House days right there alongside them. Tonight, the Washington Post is reporting that some of the neighbors down in Mar-a-Lago want the city of Palm Beach to prevent Trump from settling down there. They argue he signed away his legal right to live there full-time back in the 90s when the resort was originally converted from a private residence to a private club.
Just amazing. New Yorkers don't want him in New York. His neighbors don't want him at Mar-a-Lago. This is like one of those ironic punishments for a racist on the Twilight Zone. We do have a hacienda available in Mexico City. No! He's going to be our first nomad ex-president. Remember how everyone made fun of Hillary Clinton for taking a walk in the woods once after she lost? Trump's going to have to live in the woods. Years from now, a group of hikers are going to find him holed up in a cave with a long beard, doing rallies for a bunch of polecats. We love the ferrets, don't we, folks? Natural allies. But the skunks, how do we feel about the skunks? Not nice. Not nice, the skunks. Trump's ego is obviously taking a hit this week, so his allies have come up with an idea to make him feel better. Give him credit for the COVID vaccine he had nothing to do with. Several Fox hosts have suggested that it should be called the Trump vaccine, and a right-wing columnist from the Washington Post wrote an op-ed called "Giving Trump Credit for the Vaccine is the Best Way for Biden to Unite the Country." First of all, why should Trump get credit for the vaccine? What did he do besides say we should make a vaccine? I mean, I think we should make dinner for the kids every night, but I'm smart enough not to tell my wife we should call it Dad's Spaghetti. Also, you're never going to unite this country, and it's crazy to try. Biden should give the same speech my algebra teacher used to give on the first nice Friday in April. I don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. Let's just get through this crap so we can all go home. Trump didn't do anything. He's like the guy standing on the sidewalk watching you parallel park. You gotta cut the wheels, man. Yeah, I know that. For a crowd that constantly claims your feelings don't matter, they seem to think Donald Trump's feelings matter a lot, and especially this week, after the Electoral College yet again confirmed that Trump had lost yesterday at a rally. In Georgia, Biden joked about the fact that multiple recounts in the Electoral College had confirmed his victory there.
Thank you for standing strong to make sure your voices were heard, your votes were counted, and counted, and counted.
It's true, Biden's win in Georgia has been confirmed 3 times, and in terms of convincing someone of the truth, needing 3 times is what's known as a Scrooging. But there you have it, 3 times. Biden's win in Georgia has been confirmed more times than a dentist appointment. And Dr. Giotopoulos, you don't need to call me every day for 3 weeks before the appointment. Just send me one email 2 days ahead of time so I know it's time to start flossing. And yes, I've been wearing my retainer. Honey, have you seen my retainer? Also, if Biden's Georgia win had been confirmed 3 times, that means Trump's loss has also been confirmed 3 times. When you get rejected, it's pretty pathetic to double-check once, let alone 3 times. Trump has been outside Georgia's window holding the boombox 3 nights in a row, and each night Georgia shut the window and turned on the sprinklers. And that may seem like a dated movie reference, but remember, Trump's only political philosophy is say anything. Only a true business genius like Trump could parlay one embarrassing loss into multiple embarrassing losses. It's like investing in Enron, and then when it goes bust, you jump out the window, but instead of the sidewalk, you land on a couch someone was throwing out, and you fart super loud just as a dowager countess is getting out of a town car. Trump found a way to keep reminding people on a nearly daily basis that he's now the only president in history to lose the popular vote, get impeached, then lose re-election, which is worse than being forgotten. Zachary Taylor sucked too, but nobody even remembers that guy, except that he's the only president in history named after 2 toddlers. Zachary! Put that stick to... Because I said so! Taylor! Where are your pants? You don't know? Zachary! Why is your stick bigger? You too. On the plus side for Trump, he's the president every kid for the next 100 years is going to want to do their oral report on. Jason, your president is James K. Polk. I don't want that snooze fest. I want the guy who knew Grimace. And yet, Sandberg. I want to do the Grimace president. Nobody here gets me. And yet the deluded Trump dead-enders will not give up, not because they genuinely think there's a path to staying in power, but because they're fully invested in the belief that their opponents are illegitimate and any votes for Democrats are fraudulent. On Monday, after the Electoral College vote, the far-right network Newsmax tried to brush it off like it was some inconsequential technicality.
There are people right now who are out there calling Joe Biden the president-elect. Now, at this point, there is some political and some historical justification for them to do so at this point. I personally feel they're wrong.
Oh, you personally feel they're wrong? You don't want your controversial views to stain the sterling journalistic reputation at Newsmax, which up until recently got less attention than a stand-up comic at Ozfest. How's everybody doing? You guys ready to thrash? First, that's great. Where are my married guys at? Married guys? I don't know much about Newsmax, but it sounds like the name of one of those fake news shows that's really just a late-night infomercial for hair plugs. Welcome back to Paint. But hey, he personally feels they're wrong to call Joe Biden the president-elect, just like I personally feel that the 2007 Academy Awards were wrong to give Best Actor to Forrest Whitaker for The Last King of Scotland instead of me for my role in American Dreams, with Hugh Grant, who said to my face about my performance, and this is real, I don't remember it. We had scenes together. The Trump cabal is so committed to subverting democracy and painting Biden's win as illegitimate that some states even held fake electoral college votes and pretended alternate slates of electors would be sent to Congress to put Trump over the top once they, finally win a court case.
As we speak today, an alternate slate of electors in the contested states is going to vote, and we're going to send those results up to Congress. This will ensure that all of our legal remedies remain open.
Alternate electors, you might be thinking of an alternate universe. Not only is the president well on his way to re-election here on Earth C, he is also one step closer to apprehending America's gravest threat, Superman, the villain of Krypton. And I'm sorry, but none of your legal remedies remain open. You guys lost almost 60 court cases, including 2 at the Supreme Court. At this point, you're the kid at the spelling bee who's buying time by continuing to list letters. We're going to stop you, Kyle. Pheromone doesn't start with an F, and I think we both know it doesn't have 35 E's. And no, you didn't just lose on a technicality, as Trump and his allies have continued to claim.
They're winning these things on little technicalities, like a thing called standing.
Standing is not a technicality. It means you don't even have the right to bring the case. That's like saying, they won't let me play Little League because of the technicality that I'm not 9 years old. Now, I do think it's worth pausing while we're putting so much emphasis on the Electoral College to remind everyone that the Electoral College is a terrible system. And the way you can tell it's a bad system is the majority of Americans want to get rid of it. And it felt that way for decades, but it's still there. If you're a sane, normal person, you might have assumed that the presidential election was over the moment it became clear that Joe Biden would get more votes than Donald Trump. That's how it works in most democracies, with the exception of Norway, of course, where the prime minister is chosen by a mystical gnome named Lars, who emerges from his cave once every 4 years and names a new leader in exchange for fish balls and orange soda. And that's today's gentle Scandinavian joke. Of course, in Norway, they chant, "Forward more years!" And that's today's no audience joke. Which still did better with the crew than every other joke. We'll put in the crickets. You won't hear it over the crew laughing. Although it might actually be preferable to have a system like that, because instead we have the Electoral College, which every 4 years anoints a handful of swing states as kingmakers and has awarded the presidency the loser of the popular vote several times. I mean, remember, Joe Biden got 7 million more votes than Donald Trump out of a total of 158 million. But if you flip about 65,000 combined votes in the right states, Trump would win the Electoral College, and that's insane. We don't do anything else like that. When the Steelers score a touchdown, it's not worth 47 points. College is a ticking time bomb that is inevitably going to lead to a major crisis of Democratic legitimacy one day. Arguably, it already has. It's just that Democrats, unlike Republicans, accept the results of elections. And it's not even like the Electoral College was carefully crafted by the founders and designed as an integral component of democracy. In fact, they basically left it until the last minute of the Constitutional Convention, then half-assed it so they could all go home.
1787, the founders, they go to Philadelphia, the framers of the Constitution create this new document, which has a president for the first time, and they have to decide, how are we going to choose the president, right? And it is the most vexing question for the whole summer. They fight about it for weeks on end, and then they come up with this system in the waning days of the convention, primarily because they were completely exhausted. They wanted to get the hell out of there. And, Madison admits it after the fact. He basically says, yeah, you know what? We were pretty tired at that point.
The founders approached the Electoral College with all the energy of fans at the 7th inning of a Mets game. If we leave now, we can beat the horse traffic. Wait, hold on. I can't find my teeth. And it's also worth noting that almost immediately the founders realized their system was broken and wasn't operating the way they intended. They didn't think we'd devolve into a situation where we have to pray that Florida finally pulls it together like we're Zachary and Taylor's mom at the kindergarten Christmas pageant. Just please for one night. Zachary! Why would Joseph have a lightsaber? What part of the Bible, Taylor, is a wise man not wearing pants? Zachary! Taylor! These two. The founders just wanted to go home, so they scratched out a half-baked electoral college system at the last minute, then got the hell out of there. There's a reason there's no rap battle in Hamilton about the creation of the electoral college, even though I thought my audition was very convincing. Sit back, everybody, as I drop a little knowledge about the E to the L to the electoral college. Shoemaker, when you raise the roof, you go like this, and you're going like this. Oh, you want me to stop? Why? It's bad? Yeah, but all raps start bad. Well, agree to disagree. You know what? Let's have this fight later. The Electoral College should be abolished for the obvious reason that in democracy, everyone's vote should matter, and whoever gets the most votes should win. But abolishing the Electoral College would also have the added benefit of preventing future attempts to steal the election through Congress or state legislatures or the courts, just like the one we just saw. The presidency would go to whoever got the most votes, and that's it. It would be simple. It would be like how a democracy works or how any election anywhere works. In high school, all the kids vote for who they think gave the funniest speech, and then that person is class president. Not like the students vote and then the prom king, a math teacher, and the kid with the pet iguana get in a room and decide if they're right. And if it was a simple case of most votes win, you wouldn't have Rudy and his gang of cartoon characters descending on state capitals after one too many Jaeger bombs at the local hula-hands. Democrats need to pursue major reforms to our institutions to ensure that something like this can't happen in the future. Otherwise, it will happen in the future. Republicans have made it very clear that if given the chance, they will do everything possible to steal an election through the courts, Congress, or state legislatures. Republicans don't have
A thing called standing.
This has been A Closer Look. God's Love We Deliver cooks and brings over 2 million meals a year to men, women, and children living with HIV, AIDS, cancer, and other serious illnesses, and they need your help now more than ever. If you're watching this online, you can hit the donate button. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask. Love you.